Hello everyone. So today I'm working on a 2016 Chevy Suburban. So we're having some air conditioning problems with it. For some reason, the air would start getting cold. I ended up checking it with a temperature AC gauge. Said it was running a little low on Freon. So I put a couple cans in there. Started working fine. A few days later, started doing the same thing again. So now I started thinking there's going to be something wrong with the air conditioning unit. So I started troubleshooting and started looking into the actual lines to see if there was any O-rings, any kind of leak somewhere. I was able to locate an area where it was wet, and so this is where I'm at now. So I started tearing it down, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna make a video. Someone might not know how to replace this part. It might help someone else out. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So this is a 2016 Chevrolet Suburban. The condensing unit, I did notice, like I said, it was a little moist or wet. So during my investigation, I pinpointed it down. Everything else looked really good. So I went out and bought a new condensing unit. It was about $150. Now I'm at the point where I'm tearing it down. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. All right, as you can see, I have it already torn down. It's partially torn down. So I'll show you exactly what I did. Basically, here is the air box. I started off with these cross braces. This cross brace was here. Had a couple. This is mainly all 10mm bolts or 5/16 bolts. So I took 4 screws out of here. They're 5/16, and then loosened up the bracket here. That was able to pull the lid off. Once I pulled the lid off, I pulled the filter off as well. The air lid box itself just pops out. It's like 3 of them. Pops right out. So you pull it out, pops out. So now my next step here, I did have the cross braces that went from this one here to here. It's just a little bar. Goes from around here like that. Got those out of the way. I did that on both locations. The next step that I did, I ended up removing 3 bolts, and I believe that was a 13mm. So I got one here, got one right here, and then I got one right over there in the other point. So now that's support for the radiator. What I'm planning on doing is taking off this top support, so I can just slide the condensing right out. I didn't want to tear down all this front piece, push that radiator out of the way. Figured I'd just take down the support here. Basically, you have 3 screws or 3 bolts, 10mm bolts under there. I just used a ratcheting wrench. It's got 3 of them, and it's got 3 on the other side as well. Now, since I pulled the 3 screws here, I took the bracket off, and I took the 3 13mm bolts out of here, and there's 3 of them. Now this is free. So that's where I'm at now. I'm gonna pull this off right now. I'm gonna pull it off, go to the next step, and go from there. All right. Okay, so what I ended up doing, this bar was down. I basically just tilted it. That gave me the free space. We do have this cover here that's got to pull off, and looking down below, it looks like it kind of clips from around the condenser. All right, looking at it, you got these 2 little tabs. You got this tab, let's see if you can see it right there. That one there, you basically get your hand, flip it up. You have one on each side. Now this piece comes out. Oh, there's a lot of bugs in there. Just mentioning the actual ear box. Here it is, just 3 little push tabs. So when you're installing it, pop it in the same exact way. there is that there that just has these clips, those snapping clips. I pulled that. That was all before you start the removal of anything. Alright, so now it looks like we have a 10mm bolt down there, so that's going to be my next thing. I'm going to attack that. After that, we have that little hose there. That's a clip that will break it free. I'm going to take a look at this radiator here. I have the box here. Looks like I might be able to unclip it from the top. Looks like I might be able to unclip it from right here. That's even better. If I pull it apart from there, I can break it free there. Maybe and possibly from there. Okay, so I figured this out. Very, very simple. So this line here was tied into there. Basically, it does have. I'll show you in the next line over. But it has a little black little ring that goes on top. You peel that black ring back. When you peel that black cap, you have this little circlip there. I just basically used this tool here. It's got a little hook and peeled it back. Let me show you here on this other one there. Very, very simple. I was able just to peel it back with my hands. I found the circlip, and kind of difficult to do it with one hand, but yeah, it's right here. Very, very simple. You can see the circlip here, so you can see I'm peeling it back. So once you do that, you basically just wiggle the line out and pull it out. You'll get a little bit of leakage out of there, so just FYI. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one out. I did the other one already, and I'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I just removed the bolt that was down here. I'll see if I can get some light down in there and at the same time show you. The bolt was like down here. So it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep from up here. But what I was able to actually do, I ended up grabbing this DeWalt 90 degree. So it's a 10mm socket. 90 degree DeWalt. I had an extension, did it with my little 12 volt Hilti drill, and I was able to actually very, very simple. That way I was able to work from the outside in. So now the next step is going to be down here. See where I'm flashing my light down here. There's a couple lights, and there's I believe it's like a 1/2 inch bolt. I haven't verified the size yet, but I'm basically gonna unbolt it, and this area should break free. So I'll go ahead and do that, and get back to the video afterwards. Okay, so I was able to pull those lines out. It looks like it was tandem lines, 2 of them, and 1 bolt right in the center. It was a 13mm bolt. Super simple. I believe we're all ready to go. So now the way to pull out this condensing unit, I believe it's got 4 tabs. I don't know if I can get my hand in there, but let's see here. See if I can do this. Down here, my finger is, there's 1 tab there, and there should be another one down below, and it's going to be the same on the other side. We should be able to just pull straight up, and it'll separate it from the actual what's it called, radiator. There you go, that's the word I was looking for, the radiator. Yeah, this is definitely, I got a vacuum there. I'm gonna get a vacuum and try to vacuum all this nasty gunk out of there before I put it all together. Yeah, so this is very, very simple here. There's actually a little tab right here. This tab, probably gonna be hard to see, but just push it inward a little bit, and the actual condenser unit pulls right out. I already got the other side pulled out. I'm gonna move on over this side. Okay, next up I have here, it looks like this bolt there. It's kind of in the way, it's hitting right around here, so I can't get past this little corner here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove that bolt. Looks like it's just like a 5mm socket, 1/4 inch. So it's barely snug down there, so it comes off real easy. So I'll do that, and then I should be able to pull this unit up. Okay, so these guys here, I pulled them off of the factory condenser. Now I'm gonna clip them on here. It's very easy to pull off. Well, I did go ahead and clean off the radiator. I mean, this thing was super filthy, and it's got some debris on there, but I don't want to be too rough on it. I don't want to damage and bend the fin, so I just did the best I can. You know, still, I think it's still pretty good, and it's 100 times better than it was before. Okay, so I went ahead and dropped this condensing unit back in its spot, dropped in the slits there, clipped it on. Now went and attached this first joint. All I basically did was, and I'll move over to this other side here, to this guy here. I just basically kind of looped up the edges. This has a little plastic clip or plastic protector. I pulled it off. It's got already clips already attached on there. So once I looped up this little hose, clipped it on, and I pushed it, and what happens is clip spreads, and once you get to that point where it flares out here, it'll eventually clip up behind there, and then you'll be set. But what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be attaching this hose here and this hose here, and then I'm going to be putting on that one 10mm bolt down below. So at some point I'm going to have to go through and clean up all the oil. There was some oil in the old condensing unit. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do those 3 steps. Okay, so I got that clip on, I got that bolt on, and then I also did the connections down below for the 2 lines that go to the AC compressor, the high pressure and low pressure. So my next step is going to be, I have this little grill here, this little cap, top cap, that goes right along the very top of that. So I'm gonna pull that radiator and condenser back, put the cap on, then I'm gonna work on dropping in the top cross. I don't know if it's a cross member, but it's you know, top part of the core support. Like I said before, it's got 3 bolts. They're 10mm. 3 on this side here, 3 on the other side, and then it's got a 13mm here, 13mm here, and then 13mm on the other side, which the 2 13mm on the other side are the actual supports to hold the radiator in place to the core support. All right, I'll get those on, and actually what I'll probably end up doing is put the cross bolt braces also as well that go here at the ends. So it should be 3, 6, 9, 10, about 11 bolts. Okay, so I pretty much rebolted everything back down. I did the 3 bolts underneath, the 3 bolts underneath on the other side, and I rebolted the radiator back into place, which pushed this up. It's all reassembled now. So now my next step is I'm getting this little flap here. It's just a little clip it on, then work on mounting the air box. Just pops back into place, and then I'll put the tops of the air box on, and then I'll do this last bracket. So I ended up leaving the bracket off because I need to mount the air box. After that, the top section here will come on, and that'll be pretty much the final assembly of the condensing unit. The system still needs to be charged, so that's probably going to be another video that I'll do on that if I get the opportunity. But other than that, yeah, so I'll move on to the next step, start assembling, and then at the very end, I'll go through and I'll list and I'll lay down all the tools that I ended up utilizing. Well, there you have it, guys. So it's all put back together. The only thing I gotta do is pop these clips back down. I need to go through and get the pressure washer, pressure wash the engine, add some Freon, and from there I should be ready to go. One thing I did want to show you was as far as popping these guys out. So I have this special tool here. It's not, I'm not sure if it really is for this, but this works really good here. I think AutoZone, I don't know if I've had it for many years, but essentially stick it right on in here, underneath here. And you know, usually pops it pretty easy. See, there you go. See, it pops them up pretty easy. So yeah, all I gotta do is press these down. There it is. It took me approximately right about 2 hours, give or take. Here, I'll give you, I still got to clean up some mess. That was some oil from the condenser unit, but basically ended up using this tool here. I was just showing you guys. 3/8 ratchet. Had a little extension just in case. 13mm socket. I got a 12 shorty. Actually, I didn't use the 12mm. I used a 10mm, wherever it is. What do I do with it? Oh, it's on the impact. It's on the impact. I used a 10mm. I used that little adapter, little 12-volt impact, 10mm wrench. I use these 3 here to be able to pull the pins out. Angle screwdriver just in case. Just miscellaneous bits. Didn't really use, so I think I used a 5/16 bit out of there. 1/4" ratchet with a 5mm 5mm socket, and I used this guy here, a rubber mallet, just in case. I just grabbed that as well as that, but I didn't really use them. You can do away without them. I have them, I just grabbed them just in case I needed them. Okay guys, so thanks for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please share it, give it a thumbs up. This project took me roughly about 2 hours to do. I've never really worked on 2016 Suburban. It's brand new. I bought it new